Welcome to the Middleware Tech YouTube channel. In this series, you'll learn about Python Datatype. Null code examples used in the videos will be available on GitHub. Let's get started.
String. Okay, so here variable one. So assume I'm just writing. So this is a string variable. Okay, so there is no data types for this variable. So this string variable equal to I'm going to define good book. So this is what? This is a string. The string is assigned inside this variable. Right? So that it is saying that this is a string type variable. That's it. No data. Right? So Python support that string type variable, right? This is how we can define a string, no semicolon at the end. Okay. Next, I want to define one string in number. So you can write str variable to define some string in this number. You can define like this, right? Right? Or I can define some. So how it is? So this is one type of a string. This is another string. This is another string that contain. It is not a number. It's a string, right? Using double quotes. That means it's a string, correct? And that string you have assigned inside this variable. So str variable 2 is one type of a string, right? Okay. Similarly, if I'm going to write like str variable 3, I've created another one variable. So I'm going to assign this value. This is what one type of float type variable, but it is available in double quotes. It's available in double quotes, right? So it's in a string. That string I have defined inside this. It's in a string, right? Okay. Now let me write one int. Let me write one int. So int variable equal to 0. So 0 is an int. And when this will be initialized inside this, so this is an int variable, right? Dynamically typed, right? Okay. It support the int Python. Python support the concept of Boolean also. So how we can define Boolean using true and false? Let's write one Boolean variable. Boolean variable. Right? So what is the Boolean variable value? Value is true. I have initialized when Boolean variable value is true inside this value. So it is one type of Boolean variable because I have initialized true here. I have initialized 0, so it is an int variable. I have initialized a something that have double quotes, that is a string, so it's in a string. So I defined a 3 string, one int variable, one Boolean variable. Correct. This is how we have done the initialization for a particular Python variable. Right. I want to initialize a long. I want to initialize a long. So variable, right? So initialize some long variable. Some long variable I have defined here. Fine. It's a bit long, right? Not a string. It's long. Right? Okay. I have declared on float variable. Float variable. Float variable. Float variable I want to define here as like this float variable I have declared. Because this is a float. This is a float. This is a float. When you assign inside this, then it becomes a float variable. Assigned inside this, right? Then it becomes a float variable. Right? Okay. Now what I want is that I want to print all the variable value. I want to print all the variable value. This is the initialization I have done. Right. So I can do this initialization inside a method also. I can do this initialization inside a method also, right? So create one class. Write the class name as simple program. My class. Already I told you how to define class. Colon. Inside a class, I have to define a method after a space. How to define a method? df method name. What is my method name? Method name you can write a variable in Python. This is my method name. Already I told you that when define a method name, you have to use self. This is used to point client object attribute. What I'm going to do, I have to define this method. I have to define this method. If I want to define this method, colon, you have to define this method. When I'm going to define a particular method, you have to always use some space. You have to use that indentation. See here, from the class I'm going to define the method. You have to use this indentation after this. From the define, I have to, inside a method, I have to define a variable. So you have to use one indentation like this. You have to use this indentation, else you cannot execute a Python program in object-oriented approach. Done? Okay. Right? Okay. Now what this is a particular variable, right? So inside this method, I have initialized all this variable. Inside this method, I have initialized all this variable. Now I want to print all the variable. Fine. If you want to print, already you know, right? How to print this variable. Already you know, I don't have to say. You have to use printf, print function. And inside this print function, you have to print all the variable. Print all the variable, right? Print all the variable. I have declared this. All the things I'm doing inside a method only. Just see here, please. Inside the method only, I'm doing all the things, right? So this is the first one. This is the second string variable. And this is the third string variable. Right? I'm going to print this int value. I'm going to print this int variable. Print. Just use printf. Inside this printf, just variable value, right? Okay. I'm going to print long variable. So just select this long variable. This is a variable. Right? So and add put variable. All the variable I printed, right? Initialized here, I have printed all the variable value. Right? If you want to write some statement in between, then you can write here print all the variable value are as follows. Right? So complete things we have done inside a method. See here, complete thing I have done inside a method. Variable initialization and variable printing. Complete thing is done inside a method. Right? Okay, that is defined inside a class. Right? Now what I want to execute this. I want to execute this method. So I can how I can execute this method already, you know, just now we have done, right? If I want to execute a particular method, how I can execute a particular method? I have to create an object of a class. Creating an object, I can call a method. This is always the process in object-oriented programming approach. that creating an object, I should always call a particular function, right? So create a particular object. How to get an object? Follow the indentation. Follow the indentation. So creating an object. Object is obj equal to which object? This class object I have to create. This class, right? This class object I have to create. Control C, Control V. This class object I have created. Object creation is done. This is object creation, right? Now creating an object, I have to call this method, right? So I can write here obj dot this method variable in Python. Control C, Control V. That's it. So it will should execute, right? So let me check it's working or not. So this is my call class in object-oriented approach. This is an object-oriented approach, right? Control C, copy. You should know both the approach. I mean, we are talking about this basic data types example using this object-oriented programming approach. So, so same process. I have to execute this. If I want to execute this, I have to get a separate file. So create one file, file, new file. So what is my file name? File, save as the desktop, ABC. My file name is simpleprogram.java. Simple program.java or Py extension, right? Python, right? Save it. Now here what I have to do? Just I have to copy and paste this code. File, save, right? Okay. Better to use the proper indentation and it will not work. Enter. So indentation wise it will come here. Save it. Similarly, you are creating an object of a class and then creating an object, you're calling this method. Then this should execute. This code is written inside a method, right? In Java, you have to write opening brace, closing brace. Don't need all those things in Python. This is how we write, right? So just right now, if I want to run it, run module. Now see here, this is the problem. When you write a particular Python program, already I told you that indentation is the important steps. So the indentation is not correct. That's why this error is came. Right? So what is the problem with indentation? Correct. So what I have to do here is that just say enter. So it will come from here. All the variables name should come from here. So from here. So you have to move all the variable in this proper indentation. Then only it will work. I've used three string variable, one int, one boolean, and then one long, one float, and then I have printed all the variable. Right? Okay, so just save it and once again go to file, run module, and you can see that all the variable I can see, right? It's giving the output, right? I can see all the variable, right? So what I have done, I've just declared some variable, initialized some variables, and then printed all the variables. But the approach is oops approach. I have created a class, I have created a method. Inside a method, I have done this. I'm creating an object of the class, I'm calling the method and got the output. Right? Fine, right? Okay. Now we have to explore some more functionality step by step. So just see here. Our focus is data type actually. So just see here, please. Now I told you that these are the different data types is here. Okay. Okay. Now let me write here or as you wish. Now I'm talking about this int and a string that you have initialized and printed all the variable value. Let me spend some time with this data type into mode, like how I can do the conversion from string to int or string to float, okay, or int to long or long to int. So we can do different conversions from one type to another type. Okay, here I have just declared all the variables, initialized and printed. I'm not done anything. Now, how we can do some conversion from one type to another type? Okay, so let's spend some time on this, right? So that, right? Okay. So first, what I want to do is that I want to convert this. This is a string, right? But in double quotes we have number only, right? So what I want to do is that this string I want to convert to an int. What I'll do in Python. When you do in Java, who knows Java for them? I'm just saying, if you want to do in Java, then you have to use integer.parseInt. But what I'll do in Python, how I'll convert this string into an int, right? Just see here, please. So what I'm doing here, int, what I want to do, I want to convert string to int. So convert string to int. Semicolon after this, right? So string means I want to convert this one, this variable. Control C. I can convert, right? So use some variable name like v equal to string, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4 this is a string. I want to convert this string to a variable, right? So how I want to convert this string? This is a string only, right? So to convert string to an int, a string to an int, right? Let me write the int this side. And to convert a string to an int. It's much more. A string to an int. I want to convert, right? So if I want to convert this string to an int, I have to use one function. We have one function that is called, if you remember this, int. In Python, we have this function int. If you use this function, then this value will convert it to an int from a string. And then you can print. Print v, that's it. Print v, it will work fine. It will work fine. Just see here, please. Run module, and it's printing, right? I'm not done any operations. So int to a string to int, it's working fine, right? Now it is not, it is an int, right? Okay. Now next, what I want to convert this string to an int. This one, second one, it's a float type, right? This string I want to convert to an int. Now see, this is a float. Is defined inside a double quotes, right? So what I have to do? So first I have to convert this one as a float. Then I have to convert to an int, right? So So the second one you can say like same things and for the second variable. String to an int. So for which variable I want to convert a string to an int, assume it is v. Same name, it will reinitialize there, and this is my variable that I want to convert. Variable, fine. So variable. This contain what? One float value. It contain one float value. So first I have to convert it to a float, right? So convert to a float. Using this float function, I have to convert in Python. In Java, remember, who knows Java? We have to use float.parsefloat, right? Okay. So in Java, there is a concept of wrapper class, but in Python, no such thing. You have to use this function float to convert it to float. Now it float converted. I don't want to convert as a float. I have to convert to an int. So that float value you have to convert to an int using a function called int. In Python, you have to use this. There's no concept of wrapper class here in Python. Right? Now, if I want to print, so just save it and run this module. You can see the last output. It came as an int, right? So that's why. .9999 has gone, right? I'm converted to int, a string to an int. I converted a string
So
to an
anything
int.
after decimal will be lost if you convert float to the integer, right?
Yes, if I'm going to use int, then it will lost. But we have some other function also where we can use floor seal. We have. I'm coming into that.
Okay.
In this function, it will be lost. Okay. Now, okay. Now, what I want is that this is for float, right? And now let me convert that this float variable is there, right? This is my float variable, right? I can convert that string to float also. Here I'm string to int, so I don't want to do that string to an int. I want to float. That also you can do.
Amit,
So, yes, please.
yeah, from the above print statement, from string to int, variable v int set variable to, right?
Yes, correct.
Yeah. After that, second print, v equal to int float. What is the difference between these two v variables?
Okay. Okay. The difference, let me delete. Difference is that here
My
I'm
doubt is
converting the string
v
to
equal,
int.
yeah, correct. Here in this case, from the below print statement, int of string variable 2, right?
Yes.
Yeah, but here we didn't give.
No, here I am using string variable 3.
Yeah, correct.
The string variable 3 contain one string that have this
See,
variable.
for that first print, int of string set variable 2, right?
Yes.
Is that correct or not?
This one you're saying?
Yeah. Int
It's
of,
fine, no?
that is
String
fine. We are
variable
getting,
2.
yeah, we are getting output. That's fine. But my doubt is int of string variable 2. Is that correct or only this much is enough?
You are saying you want to write here a string?
Yeah, correct. Why? Because here, yeah. Not here. From the above print only. First print.
Now, what he's trying to ask is you already mentioned float here, but you haven't mentioned string in the first line. That's what
Yes,
he's trying to
correct.
say.
Yes.
So you just directly mention int and the variable, but here
Okay,
you
okay.
are
Yeah.
mentioning int and float.
Because it's a float variable, no? It's a float variable.
Okay.
But that's why I'm converting it to float first, then to int. But it is an int, no? It is an int.
Okay, okay. Got it, got
That's why I'm using int function to convert to
Yeah,
int.
it's a direct one. So here for second print,
Since it is
for
a float variable, so first I've
Hmm.
converted that string to a float using this float function.
Okay,
Then that float I've converted as an int using int
got it.
function.
Yeah, got it. Thanks.
But the same things we can do in Java. If you, I'm just comparing every time, there is this approach is different in Java. You have to use parse int, parse float, this type of method of wrapper class. But here I have to use this function to convert this. Fine.
Okay, got it. Thanks.
So next, let me explore into more into this. Let me convert that string to float only. Let me convert that string to float. Okay. So so what I want is that I want to convert a string to float. Fine. And so I'm defining here. This is a string from a string to float. So to convert a string to float, you can take one function, assume v equal to which string I want to convert as a float. Take this string I want to convert as a float. Take this string variable too. String, right? So I want to convert this string as a float. This string I want to convert as a float. So I can use the float function. Float function I have used to convert and print. And just save it, same thing, and I don't have to change anything, same. And you can see that string convert as a float. Right? Okay. Similarly, you can convert this string variable 3 also as a float, right? Okay. Now I want that int variable to convert as a long. This int variable, it's an int, right? It's an int. It's an int because 0 is initialized. So it's an int. Now I want to convert this int as a long. So what I want to do, I want to convert here int and convert int to long. Simple. Right? If I want to convert int to long, which int I want to convert as a long? Assume I'm taking once again v equal to which int I want to convert as a long? This int, this one 0. See how it becomes on long. Control C. This one I'm going to convert as a long. Long means here also I have to use one function. Long. Right? And then I have to print this variable value. Int v. That's it. Int as a long and print it inside v. So file, save, run. Now see here, it's given an error. It's given an error. So why it is given an error? I'm converting into a long. I can do it using this function.
No, v after equal to you have given double space.
Yeah. Okay. Is it? No. Single space I have given. If you have multiple space, it will count as a single space only. Okay. There is no. Okay. You are saying indentation here. Here it is not that. Just here.
But long is not converted into that kind of a float or int or something like that. Some different color will come there, right? That is not happening here.
Yes, you got the right point. The different colors should come. That is not happening. Why? Anyone? The point is that the reason is that, let's see here. You got the right point. Sorry. Version. We're using 3.x version. Remember that in 3.x will not support long. This long concept is available only in 2.x. In 3.x, longs is not there. That's why it is not coming into different color. Okay, so that's why it will not work. So let me disable this.
Suppose if the customer don't have 2.0 and they have only the 3.1.
No, they have to, because in Python there is no backward compatibility also, so that the project must be either in 2.x or in 3.x. The 2.x project will not run in 3.x. So that's why even no one will go for 2.x, because as per technical documentation that is released by 2020, 2.x will go. As for example, Python 1.x already gone. No one is using Python 1.x. Now after 2020, 2.x will also go. So everyone have to go with 3.x version. So in 3.x version, there is no concept of long. That's why it is not.
So it means that we don't need to use long at all.
No. In Python 3.x, we are not using a long.
Okay.
So we have to remember those. Now, can we convert a long variable to an int? Or can we convert a string to a particular float variable? So let me show another one or two examples. Then
Yeah, is it possible to convert from long to int?
Long to int. Let me check. Print.
Anyway, long function is deprecated in 2.x, right? Can we try with from long to int?
Yes.
Instead of int to long.
Yes. I think it will work. Let me check here. Let me check. Trying from long to int. Okay, fine.
Headphone दिया ना?
Is
Headphone.
if I'm using long to int, so you can use v equal to, I'm going to use int. So int I'm going to convert as a long. What is the long variable for me? This is my long variable.
इसका क्या ड्रॉबैक है?
Int float string. So in this example, I have one float variable. This is my float variable. This one I have to convert as a string. If it is, so take v equal to this float variable I have to convert as a string. So use that for a string you have to use str. This is the function I use. Convert str function you have to remember. So not only float variable, if I want to convert Boolean variable, okay, to a string, then also you have to use this str function, str. Okay, and you can print fee. Let me take this float in a string or not. File save. Run module. Yes, float converted in a string that we have printed here. Fine. And similarly, if I want to convert some int to Boolean or Boolean to int, now Boolean to int. Now see here in Python, we say that Boolean we are using true and false. right? In Java also you're using Boolean true and false. But in Python, that Boolean value, true and false, you can convert as an int. You remember that. In Python, that Boolean value, you can convert as an int. Okay, true is actually 1, false is 0. Just see here, I want to convert Boolean to int. These are other features that is not there in Java. In, I want to convert Boolean to int. Boolean to int. So I'm going for Boolean to int. So take v equal to, what is my Boolean variable? Take that Boolean variable that I am using in my current example. This is my Boolean variable, Boolean value true. So this one I want to convert. Control C. This one I want to convert as an int. So this one. Right. So it want to convert as an int. So to convert as an int, I have to use int function. I have to use int function. Right. Then I have to print this v. So print of v. File save. Execute. Run module. You can see here this Boolean is true converted as an 1. You remember that one. True will convert as an 1 implicitly, as well as false. Assume this is false. Assume, not it's true. Assume this is false. False will be converted as 0. Okay, false will be converted as 0. So just see here is false, so it should be 0. Run module, it is 0. Right. So in Python, your Boolean variable true will convert as in 1, and the Boolean variable false will convert as in 0. Right. Right. Similarly, you can convert int also as a Boolean. Now I want to convert that int as a Boolean, as well as you can convert int as a Boolean. Just to see how it works. If I'm going to convert an int as a Boolean. These things, it is small things, but it will help one. So I want to convert int as a Boolean, right? So if you want to do int as a Boolean, so take the int variable that you are using in our example, the int variable that we are using in our variable. Let's take that int only here. Which int I want to convert as a Boolean? Take this int. This one I want to convert as a Boolean. So v equal to this int I want to convert as a Boolean. How? Is there any particular method? How I'll convert this int as a Boolean? Is there any method for this? That means you are saying that if I write bool, something like that, is there any method? Int and going to convert as a Boolean?
I guess BOOL.
So if I use this, it's working or not? You can use int v. So file save, run module. Yes, sum is false. So we can do this conversion, right? Okay. Now another important point here I want to say that. So one point from the data types you find is that long function not supported in Python 3.x. First point. Second point, what you got that from some other language difference is that here true means 1, Boolean means 0. True means 1, false means 0. Third point is that If I want to concatenate multiple variable in Python, again I'm saying if I want to concatenate multiple variable in Python, it will work or not. How I'm going to concatenate multiple variable. In Java, I can use plus operator to do the concatenation of multiple variable. How I'll do the concatenation of multiple variable in Python? So let me show using a separate statement here. What I'm saying, end. What I want to do is concat data type in Python. I want to concat data types. Okay, so what type of concatenation I want to do? Assume I want to add string variable 1 with string int variable and boolean variable. These three different types. Take a string variable 1, this one string variable I want to concatenate with int variable. Take this int variable. Take this int variable. Control Z. Control Z. Int variable. And boolean variable. Take this boolean variable. This three variable I want to concatenate in Python. So that I have written using plus operator. So it will work or how it is. Then what I'm doing is that I'm just printing int v. Let's see. File, save, run. Now see it's giving an error. That means if I want to do concatenation between multiple variable, it will not work like this. So what I have to do, how I can convert? Solution is that everything you have to convert as a string, then do the concatenation. So this is already a string. I don't have to change. This is not a string. So you have to convert the int. If I want to do the concatenation, you have to convert that int as a string. Then do the concatenation. Similarly, the boolean also you have to convert as a string. Everything you have to convert as a string, then you have to do the concat like this. Then you have to do the concatenation. Just save it, run module. Yes, it's working fine. Or it's working fine, right? It's working, right? So that is another one point that if you want to do that variable concatenation in Python, then you have to convert those other variables as a string, then do the concatenation. Then it will work fine. Now this concatenation you can do differently also. No, I want to do like this. Slash like this. Here also I want to add one slash. Whatever it is, it's a string only. It's a string only, right? So file save and module. You can see, right? Okay.